welcome to Barbershop Talk here on Saturday, 12/15/18. Happy holidays, everyone. Donovan Bailey, Bud Whitehorn. We have Sheriff Torgerson with us here today. And before we get into it with Sheriff Torgerson, I want to go over a couple of things. We are Barbershop Talk. Our goal is, it's a grassroots effort to be a media outlet to the African American community, the at-risk community, and the minority community, and also the community as a whole. We want to reach those voices that are not normally heard, with the goal of bettering our community as a whole. As Paul Whetstone said, we all do better when we all do better, and that's what we're doing here at Barbershop Talk. As we look into 2019, we're looking to expand in a couple of things. So if you're interested to get involved with what we do or how we do it, let us know. This is a community effort to bless our community, and that's why we have great men like Sheriff Torgerson out to talk with us here today. So let us know what you like, what you don't like, as we move forward into 2019. Bud has the Facebook, his phone, so if you have any questions for Kevin Torgerson, get him on the Facebook app, and he'll look through that, and maybe we can get those questions to Sheriff Torgerson. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for all the critiques and what have you. Again, we are about the community, and we want to support a better community here in South Minnesota. So let's jump in. And as we did last week, we started a new segment called Elephant in the Room, right? All right, and so, as you know, elephant, if you don't know, elephant is that thing in the room, like when you're with your family at Thanksgiving or Christmas, and there's an issue, right? It's a big issue, like an elephant, but no one wants to talk about it. So we have that little segment here at the beginning of our show, and we're gonna, and hopefully it's a fun thing for everybody. So my first elephant in the room is, all right, I only got a couple. This week, Stephen Curry played for the Golden State Warriors. Great guy, $250 million athlete. He was on a podcast, and he said that the landing of the moon was incorrect. Yeah. No one landed on the moon. So my thoughts are, the elephant in the room for me is like, I was watching ABC like a couple of days after, and they were like, this athlete should know that he shouldn't say things like this. And oh, what are the teachers going to do with the students when they come in? They love Curry, and he said there was no man on the moon. And I'm like, please, he's having fun, whatever. So what do you think? I mean, was it a damaging thing that he did?
Myself. First of all, you know, I want to address the last week's elephant.
Oh, look at him, Chicago. See, this is not right.
I don't really consider them elephants because everybody's talking about them.
Oh man, you know, not good. Not good.
So
well, that's for sure.
To go back to Curry, I believe that it's all in fun. I don't think, you know, Kyrie said a couple of years back that he thought the world was round or something like
flat.
Flat. Yeah, he didn't believe it was round. I mean, so I don't know if it's just a little attention, stir up a little controversy, won't hurt, you know. And I don't think it was nothing bad, but I think it's getting taken out of proportion a little bit.
And they got all that money. I mean, what else do you do? Hey, let's just say that there's no man on the moon. See how that
Steph, his name don't come up in too much or anything.
Right. They're bored. So, what, two back-to-back championships?
Yeah, I got back-to-back. 3 out of 4.
Okay, so they're bored, but I was like, wow, are teachers really posed with some difficulty due to this scourge on the nation that athlete said that there was no man on the moon? But maybe so, but I was just like, wow, they're really going nuts over it.
They had fun with it last night.
They had fun with it, man.
Who did they play last night?
Oh, Sacramento Kings, yeah. They did.
Before the game, they actually showed the video of the man walking on the moon.
And he loved it.
So that's pretty fun.
And he said it was fun. And I thought but it was like, athletes can only say so. I'm like, really? They're not politicians, but they do have a lot of influence.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
My second elephant in the room topic, and it goes into Kevin Torgerson and why you're here. This week, the Star Tribune came out with an article, and we'll get into a little bit more. The article was entitled, Minnesota Police look to combat crisis of statewide shortage and potential recruits. I'm like, wow. Yeah. And I don't know, as far as the elephant in the room, I don't know if it's an elephant in the room necessarily as much as like, wow, really?
It's a serious issue right now.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, we're feeling it here too.
Really?
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Wow.
given, from my estimation, I know when I went to law enforcement school, whatever, this is a great place that you get paid well in Minnesota, so on and so forth, but there's a shortage, so you're actually seeing that shortage.
And we can talk about some of that, but what we're seeing, what we've noticed, and it's not, I just came back, this last weekend, the state sheriffs all get together twice a year. So we call it our winter conference, and that was one of the big items, was
Really?
what we were talking about was how we gonna continue to, encourage people to look at law enforcement as an option for a career.
And my main thought, and I guess this is an elephant in the room, I immediately thought, and that's not correct after I read the article, and we'll get into it a little bit later, that the reason why there's a reduction is totally because of the last 5 years since 2012, all of the stuff.
It has a lot to that. The numbers were coming down before that, but it made a definite downturn.
Really?
Within the last 5 years, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, hopefully we can rectify that. We'll get into that a little more, but we want to welcome a community champion, a leader in our community, Sheriff Kevin Torgerson from OImsted County, a great guy. And we're so honored to have him here today, given what he does, the magnitude of what he does, and he's going to cut out an hour for us today to spend with us. So thank you for being here.
I'm happy to be here. I've been anxious to get here.
Yeah.
So finally, it's happening. It's good.
Well, and we wanted him on our show here earlier, and it kind of gets to the first question I had. You are a well-liked guy. You are the cop's cop type of guy, right? And you ran unopposed in the third largest area in Minnesota. Why do people like you?
That's not a question.
That's a positive question, by the way.
It is. I took it that way. It's not something I'm comfortable in really answering. I mean, other people can tell you that.
Right.
I guess the bottom line is it's something that I've been focused on for really most of my career. And when I started up in Hennepin County.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I worked in the detention center up in downtown Minneapolis. Grew up in a small town north of here, Kenyon. So a farm kid, but went to Minneapolis and started my career. And I noticed right away that I had to be, people could tell if I'm not being real.
Right, exactly.
And I had to be real, and had to be to show people that I cared. And so it started really early. And then when I came here, to try to be as brief as I can. After a few years, I ended up becoming a DARE officer. The DARE program, Drug Abuse Resistance Education, is its title, but it does way more than just talking about drugs. And it was during that time that, again, I was put in a position where I'm with 5th and 6th grade kids, and their perceptions of what you're telling them, whether you're real or not, is off the charts. And so again, I just had to find a way to be real and try to show them that I was a human and a person. And it was always fun to see their reaction when we would have this one day called Alternative Day. It was part of the program, and I'd come in without my uniform. I'd wear maybe jeans, a t-shirt, a DARE t-shirt, or shorts if it was in the spring and it was a nice day. And they wouldn't recognize me first of all. They'd give me the double take. And then they were shocked to hear that I had a wife and kids and a dog and I lived in a house. They just had this image of the uniform, the squad car, and that was all they knew of me. And so I knew that I had to do more than that, and that's really been the basis of all the things that I do and my wife does, our kids have done, is we just want to be part of the community and not just in it and exist in it.
You seem to be well suited for this because, again, it's the third largest area in Minnesota. We have Mayo Clinic here. There's a lot of transient folks coming out. I would assume that this is a hotbed for a lot of potential issues. Not negative, but there's just so much here and going through here. I'm sure you're probably, obviously Trump was here. President Trump was here, a couple of months ago, and that had to be nerve-wracking.
Well, it was a nerve-wracking time, but we've entertained, in a sense, or welcomed other presidents and heads of state all the time. Certainly the city of Rochester and Rochester Police takes the forefront of that because they're the jurisdiction that all the action, for the most part, is happening, and we're there to assist and aid in everything that they do. So, again, it wasn't anything that was, it was a big event, and we want everything to go well, regardless of who the person is that comes in. We want them to come in, do their thing, and make sure they leave again.
Right.
And so the planning that goes into that is tremendous. The
Right.
behind the scenes is incredible work. And we all know that not one person can do it by themselves. We all have to pitch in. And so we're very used to that. And I think the other piece too is very understanding that there is a lot of opposing views, certainly with President Trump here. And
So are you a Trump fan?
what's that?
Are you a Trump fan?
Am I a Trump fan?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the president.
All right,
There we go.
all right, there we go. Good answer.
Well,
That's why I'm here. I'm joking.
I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things you can look at all of our presidents and go back and say,
good and the bad.
you know, yeah.
Right.
So we have to honor the office.
Absolutely.
I think is the main thing, and we start there. And you know, whether you want to take apart what one says or the other says, you know, we're going to do that with everybody. So
Okay.
you know.
So let me ask you this: how do you remain grounded and humble through the controversies of law enforcement, police brutality,
Wow.
and how do you remain humble and still able to interact like you do with the people?
Yeah. Well,
the distrust is there.
yeah. The part of it kind of goes back to what I already talked about being real and knowing that there's a lot of different perspectives. There's a lot more to the story, and that's the one challenge I have. And you know, some of the other questions that you sent over to me, Donovan, were the same answer. That there's more to the story.
Right, exactly.
And media, God bless them, they've got only a minute, 2 minutes to tell a story, and it's a very impactful story.
Right.
But they don't have time to show all the other sides to it.
No doubt about it.
And same thing with social media. You know, people get on the train of this is my focus, this is my goal, and again, they don't look at the opposing sides to it, and not necessarily opposing either. It's more about what else is going on. What happened? That 30 seconds of video I just saw on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. To okay, what happened in 30 seconds before that, or the 2 to 5 minutes before that led to that? There's more to that story, and so that's the grounded part of it, and the challenge with what law enforcement has faced over the last 5 to 6 years is taking opportunities like this every chance I get, and even asking for opportunities, and I don't always get invited. You know, I'd love to be doing more of these kind of things,
Right.
Because I want to show people that other side and be real with them, as opposed to just, you know, the poster,
Right.
you know, just this stiff person that stands up in front and says this is what it is. There's more to that story. So
That's
the more
why I
we do
applaud you
that, the
for.
better off we are.
Because you engage, if I can remember, you engage the Black Lives Matter community or
Oh, yeah.
movement pretty quickly.
Right. Well,
and
after
with those folks.
when the Dallas officers were shot, just an incredible tragic thing.
Right.
And I know the entire country looked at that.
It was crazy,
and
yeah.
That was everybody put the brakes on that.
Yeah.
Right.
That was scary.
Yeah.
You know, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And certainly law enforcement. And the first thing I did that morning, I got some questions and stuff overnight and Facebook things and some emails. And then there was another phone call that morning, I think from the media here locally, maybe a couple of them, and wanting my take on it. And I'm like, whoa, hold it.
Right.
I'm not gonna do this all day long.
Yeah.
So I got a hold of Chief Peterson at the time, and I said, we gotta do this together.
Yeah.
We need to come out, our community is asking, they wanna hear from us. And I said, but I don't want just you and me, Chief Peterson, to come out and, you know, the two of us representing law enforcement and talking. Let's invite everybody we could. So Rochester for Justice, Black Lives Matter, you know, everybody we could think of, in a very short order. And we told the media, meet us at whatever it was, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I was there.
We'll be at the Government Center,
Government Center.
and let's talk it out.
Right.
Let's and get not only, and that was the other part of it that I really wanted to have that day was, yeah, Chief Peterson and I are going to talk. We're going to talk about what it means to us and how it affected our agencies and what our people are thinking about, because it seemed as though, wow, if we don't get on top of this could spread really fast and be very dangerous for everyone. And so, yeah, Chief Peterson and I were gonna talk, but we wanted everybody else to have a chance to say something too.
Right.
Because they had an effect, it affected everybody.
Yeah.
And, that was just one example of really how I think every day.
I think that was genius because, like
I
you
think it
said,
was too.
not to diss the media or whatever, the rhetoric can get ahead of it.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you have an issue that the
Right.
rhetoric seems like it really charged
Right.
the issue. So I applaud you for that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it went well too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you,
I remember saying that.
thank you.
Bud and I deal with a lot of mental health in the professions we are
Yeah.
in. Given all that went on since 2012, Trayvon Martin,
Yeah,
and then obviously the Dallas incident just blew the tops off,
Oh.
and that's when the Blue Lives Matter thought or sentiment came out,
Right,
which is
yeah.
valid, and
Yeah.
people can argue that with in regards to Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is its own thing and definitely valid. In regards to the fear that came from that, how did you? Because I'm sure I just assumed, Linda, your officers were like on heightened alert.
yeah.
How did you?
Absolutely.
Were you able to? How do you? All of a sudden, you guys are any crazy person across the street can just get.
Yeah, it's it's something that it's not something that just happened then. It's been something for me. I've been in law enforcement now 38, going on 39 years, and it's something that's always been there.
Yeah, that is true.
So it's. I think back after Rodney King's incident
Right.
in California, and that was just such a just a messed up deal.
Right, right.
That should never have happened. There's no question about it. And that was our take here. We talk about that. We review those things like everybody else does. We just don't throw it out into the public all the time.
Right.
Real quickly.
Yeah.
So when Rodney King happened, I remember doing a traffic stop just outside of the city. It was in the county area, but it was a traffic stop. It was a car without a headlight or tail light out, something. And it was prime time at night when it could potentially have been a drunk driver or something like that. So that's what we do. And so I stopped this car, and it turned out it was two black gentlemen in the vehicle.
Okay.
It was dark.
Yeah.
I couldn't see anything, and immediately there was a confrontational thing, and I'm like, whoa! I'm just trying to tell you your taillight's out, guy. And the comment came back was that, am I going to treat him like Rodney King? And I said, whoa!
Oh wow!
Just wait a minute.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing to do with that. I'm just trying to help you out. It's clear you're not impaired in any way.
Yeah.
You're going to go on your way here in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
We don't need to have this kind of interaction. And granted, there's other times where officers, I'm not going to say we're perfect, because we're not. We make mistakes. But in regards to getting back to what you asked, Donovan, the difficult piece of what we share with our officers and what they look at, it's not only about them, it's about their families too, because they're scared.
Right.
Their loved one goes out the door
Absolutely.
every day, and they know that there's a target on the back, or potentially a target on the back. So it really comes back to the officer, just do what you need to do.
Right.
Treat people with respect. I was driving in this morning, and they were talking to Aretha Franklin's niece, and automatically I'm thinking of her most famous song, R.E.S.P.
Yeah.
And I'm going, oh, that's perfect. I'm going to remember that for the barbershop.
But yeah, it's true. It's
But
true.
it's the bottom line of what it is. I don't care from my time when I started working in Hennepin County in the detention center up there to today. Every person I've ever encountered just wants respect. The core of what we have in our community is let's respect each other. We have our differences. We're always gonna, I'm a Vikings fan. I'm sorry, but I respect the Bears. I have to respect the Bears because they had an awesome team this year. And so, it can go on all different levels.
Absolutely.
That's the example. And so the bottom line is respect, and do what you're supposed to do. Do it right. Respect the people as you're doing it. One of the things another great example, I arrested a lot of people throughout my time when I was there. I don't arrest people now. I've got other things to do.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. But it was always kind of in the back of my mind, and it happened more times times, and I think people would really believe,
Yeah.
is when I bring someone to jail, whether I arrest them on a warrant, drug arrest, domestic, whatever it was, DUI, whatever. My goal was to have them tell me thank you when I get them to jail.
Oh, wow.
And they did. There was many, I'm not saying.
That's a nice take on it though.
It is, I wanna treat them well enough.
Right, if your intentions are right, even though the goal is not really, obtainable all the time, but I like that you said that, if your intentions are right, a lot of times you treat them better than what you, a lot of other people do.
It happens, it happens more times than people would expect, and it happened with people who, two things would happen. I would treat them well, as best as I could, in the circumstances and whatever would happen, and granted, some people are just pretty angry people.
Right.
You know that. But by treating them well, helping them understand that, hey, what they did doesn't work in society today, and our laws say this is what they are. So let's deal with that, but I don't hate you because of it.
Right.
You're a person, you made a mistake, we're gonna move on, and we're gonna deal with this, and, that's, and our folks, I think, still, even though it's not something we talk about, it's not something we have on the wall, that, make sure they say thank you, or that, but a lot of our folks, I think, really follow that same kind of goal. Our detention staff does a fantastic job of treating people in the right way inside. That we got a building full of potentially 150 on the average people. Not a one of them wants to be there.
Right.
They'd rather be other places, especially this time of year.
No doubt.
So treating them with respect and treating them as a human being is just the core of what they do.